Hi there, my name is Jennifer Hanau. I'm the assistant principal here at the middle school at Melva Davis Middle School. Let me give you a little bit of background about the stakeholder group that we're going to be discussing today, which is the EL population or ELAC. So our stakeholder is going to be a president or secretary or vice president of the English Learners Advisory Committee. In regards to our district, just to give you some background, district size is about 20,000 students in population. We are a K through 8 elementary school district, so we service students from kinder to 8th grade. Our average school size and student numbers is between 700 to 900 students. I think our largest middle school right now is about 1,200 students, but average elementary school has about 700 to 900 students. Our demographics is we have about 60% Hispanic, and out of those 60% we have 15 to 20% of those students are English learners. So we have a very large influx of newcomers or English learners that are newcomers. And also our free and reduced lunch rate is at 94%, which means the majority of our families qualify for or are considered low socioeconomic status for family status. So to begin our interview, typical questions that may arise in a ELAC meeting, parents typically ask these types of questions. And so here's question number 1.
What are the current needs of the district when discussing English learners?
So right now we can identify that the English learners, their biggest need is obviously to learn the language and to be able to be successful within the classroom setting, and then to continue on, go to high school, and go to college. But I believe right now our biggest need as a district is enrichment and better curriculum to support our current Common Core. So recently we purchased a lot of materials for our general ed population, but I feel that we need to find some recourses or some materials that will help support that material. It's hard for English learners to learn, they're learning their basic curriculum, but if they could have something to enhance or enrich for English learners, that would be very, very helpful. Our second question would be,
how can we intervene with our students who have English learners' needs?
So intervention right now is something really big in the district. We know that teacher by teacher, a lot of times they take it upon themselves to intervene, but as a district we really need to own the intervention process district-wide for all of our students from kinder all the way through 8th grade. So right now, how we envision intervention is obviously through the classroom, so that each classroom is having their intervention. Doing small group instruction or small group pull out. At the middle school level, they're doing a whole period of intervention to where if you're an English learner, you get to have one whole period with a teacher that will help you enhance and sharpen your skills in that area. Also, we've been discussing doing almost like small classes for parents during the school day, not after school, and maybe pay one of our teachers or get a sub for one of our teachers and have them teach a English class or a math class. Our biggest complaint typically or comment made by our parents is that, well, I don't know how to help my student. I myself I'm not educated in this, or I don't understand what Common Core is or how it's supposed to help. How do I help them? The way I learned math or the way I, did my English or my essays a long time ago is not what you want today. So if our teachers can teach our parents some of those skills, I think it would be very, very helpful. Doing some kind of adult ed after school also is helpful, like a community center where parents can go get English classes, do computer classes, things like that. And of course, keeping the community informed, having the community meetings, the DLAC, the district advisory committees for the English learners, and having those resources, teaching them about the resources they have within the community. We have a college in the community, they have a lot of resources, the library, the public library, things like that are all educational resources for these families. So the third question that may arise in an English Learners Advisory Committee meeting is,
each year there is an increase of English learners in the district. How are you addressing this?
So one, we need to do better monitoring, making sure that we're keeping close track of these new incoming students. We know that there's a lot of transiency in these areas. So when they do come to our district, we need to, one, make sure that we're identifying them correctly, and then having careful monitoring, making sure that there's adequate progress in these students. If we're showing growth each year, I'd prefer to see monitoring between every 8 to 12 weeks to see if there's growth. And if there's growth, great. If there's not, then we need to do intervention within the classroom. But from the district level, seeing how our kids are doing in reclassifying. If there's a very low reclassification rate, what are we going to do to change that, and how are we going to increase the intervention to help these students? Having more test prep for the CELT exam. A lot of times students are fluent in English, but they just are not very good test takers, so they do very low in their tests, but they do well in the other criterias or the other areas for reclassification. And then again, teaching the teachers on how to help them do those focus sections. So sometimes students do very well in the writing and the reading, but on the listening sections they don't do very well in the CELT exam because they're not used to that type of learning style. We do a lot of visuals and hands-on today in education, and not necessarily just listening. So hopefully this helps address 3 very common questions that occur within the English language learners community. For our next meeting, we could discuss more logistical things like how to reclassify, what does a CELT exam, the results look like, what is the data telling you as a parent. So for our next meeting, I hope that we get to all talk and discuss a little bit more about your students. Thank you for being here. We appreciate your support.